Welcome to Energy and Balance. My name's Michelle, and today I'm going to be talking about a subject that is quite personal and dear to me. It's something that I've had to try and deal with my entire life because I'm an empath. So today I'm going to talk about protection crystals for empaths and the best way to set up emotional boundaries, ground yourself after all of these things happen, as well as setting up some energy protection so that you can feel not so bombarded by everything that's happening around you and just be more prepared and more stable moving through life. Now, empaths, what's an empath? An empath is someone who instinctively, naturally picks up the energy or the vibration that the people around them are giving off. Now, that might sound like, oh, great, this is a wonderful thing. But for most people who are energy sensitive, it's not so good because a lot of people out there have the stress, the anger, the sudden emotions just that are really heavily draining on you and make you feel exhausted as an empath most of the time. You can be not prepared and walk into a room full of people and suddenly Joe over there is really upset with his wife. And so she's sad and distressed over everything that's happening. And suddenly you're getting this mix of feelings that are just completely bombarding you. And that can be overwhelming. It can make you want to just not even be social, not have to deal with everyone else's emotions and take that all on board, which makes you lose who you are and what you want to do. Now, empaths, you can be born an empath or energy sensitive so that your entire life you're feeling that. You're feeling everything that is going on around you, and in some ways you're actually lucky to be that way because it's your natural state. So feeling those things, you develop ways naturally to protect them. Which is something that I've done through my life, but I have come across a lot of people that are the other side of the fence, if you like, who have suddenly, as they have gotten more and more involved in the energetic aspects of their life, have suddenly become more sensitive to the energy around them. So through meditation and using energy, using crystals, using sound, using smell, all of that, they've suddenly become much more sensitive to what's happening around them. And unfortunately, this leads to a bit of a bombardment. And you can't cope as well. And so suddenly you're on this level of becoming more spiritually aligned, if you like, and more on your true purpose of where you want to go with life. And you've got this knock, this setback that just keeps going, boop. And you're like, is that my energy? And why am I feeling this? What's going on? Suddenly I'm stressed when I'm not stressed. So really, what I'm doing with this podcast is I'm letting the people know who have always been empaths ways they can maybe fine-tune exactly what to do and how to get just that little bit more protection. And it is really hopefully going to help the people who have found themselves bombarded and want some sort of guidance in moving forward so that they can just be a little bit more relaxed. Because I'll tell you what, it makes you feel stressed. It really does when you're picking up this energy that's not yours and you just don't know how to handle it. So let's go. We've covered what's an empath, yeah? And now, because you're on energy imbalance, let's face it, you like crystals. I like crystals, you like crystals. So on most of my pages, or pretty much all of my pages, I go through at least 6 crystals and the reason for them on how they are going to help you with the issue that we're dealing with. Now, today is empaths. And what I'm looking at with empaths is really a way to protect yourself from that energy, but not just protect yourself. What we're also going to be looking at is so that you can get better emotional response from that energy so that you can better handle it when it hits you. The first crystal for empaths that is by far my favorite, it really is for this type of situation, and that is when you're feeling completely and utterly bombarded by the energy, and that is black obsidian. Now, black obsidian is a wonderful, wonderful stone. What it does, it's been used right the way through history as a protection stone, and not just through energetic uses. It's become more and more popular as we've moved forward to use as an energetic stone. But previously, it was used as a protection stone. Now, black obsidian is flintable, which basically means some of the earliest knives, daggers, arrowheads, everything else were created from black obsidian. So right the way through its history, black obsidian has been used as a protective stone, and that is what it is. It is right the way through grounding, protection, and it really helps you stabilize everything that's going on around you. And one of the ways it does that is it reflects. Now, different stones do it in different ways. That is the beauty of using black obsidian with empaths, is because instead of being bombarded by that energy, it's reflected back. So it doesn't, a little bit might get through to you, but it's reflected away so that it doesn't hit you. It also really helps to absorb that emotional heaviness that you're feeling. Sometimes you don't even realize just how much of a burden, how intense all of those energy that you're receiving are on you and what they actually make you feel and do. Now, the next stone that we're going to look at is onyx. Now, onyx isn't a stone that I see around a lot, but when I was putting together our empath stones, I really thought it deserved a place. It is just, it's strength. It really not just protects you, it gives you that emotional strength and stability. That emotional strength and stability is how you are better able to deal with what you're being hit with. So it allows you to not be as affected by other people's moods and energy. It just naturally absorbs all of that stuff, all of that energy, all of that negativity that is coming towards you, and it absorbs it, helps to neutralize it so that you're able to stay calmer and just feel better. And so even though it's not out there that often, I think it is really, really a worthwhile stone to have into this mix. The next one that's on my list is labradorite. Now, I'm a huge fan of labradorite when I can say it. It's a wonderful stone. Comes in so many colors and is just it's got this energy that is so calming and so peaceful, and yet at the same time it helps to balance and center you so that you can really communicate. Now, when this comes into play, is it really helps protect your aura and your energetic shielding. And that's important because when you're being bombarded by so much negative energy, so much of other people's energy, then your aura, your energy field around you is going to get damaged, going to get dirty, going to get mucky. And that makes it overall more difficult for you to be able to cope and for you to be able to really be happy, be positive, move forward. So that's what it does. It really helps to protect your aura and bring up that energetic shielding. So it's really, really important for highly sensitive people when they are just feeling the life is being sucked out of them. They're emotionally drained whenever they go into social interactions. And the added bonus of it is it helps you clearly communicate through on what you want to do when you're in those situations. So that really does have an added bonus, because sometimes when you're in that moment, it is very, very difficult to be able to express yourself clearly. So what you tend to do is just shut down and not know where to go. The next stone on my list is blue kyanite. Now, blue kyanite it's around a lot, but I really don't see it put forward out there and used that much. And as you can probably tell from my list, I take a lot of time putting my list together, because what I'm trying to do is not just have protection. What I'm trying to do is give you different stones from different aspects of how you need protection and your best way to deal with them. And when blue kyanite comes in, it's about emotional separation and energetic alignment. Now, it's got its protection elements in there, but what it is teaching you to do, or what the vibration is there and showing you to do, is you can separate yourself emotionally from what is happening around you. You don't have to be drawn into Mary's divorce drama, Sue's school pickup time that happened. You don't have to be drawn into that. You can stay emotionally separate from it, so that if you do want to give some advice, or not really advice, but if you do want to have some input in the situation, you don't have to be emotionally affected by it. So you can communicate much more rationally, and you're much more energetically aligned. It is a fantastic stone if you have trouble saying no. Now, I've been there, particularly with highly emotional situations. Saying no can be difficult. And blue kyanite really brings through that strength of, I guess, trusting in yourself so that you can say that no. Now, a bit of hearty stuff. Now, us empaths, us energy sensitive people really need that, because we feel like most of the time that we're being not appreciated, because we're just giving so much. And so you do have to be appreciated over it, because otherwise you tend to lose yourself in where you're going. So my next one is kunzite. And kunzite, first of all, has a very calming effect. That's what it's going to help bring through as well. While you're looking at the emotional protection, it also has a very strong vibration of love. Now, that's important for empaths, because most of the time out there, or an awful lot of the time out there, we are picking up the negatives. I mean, let's face it, if you're given the choice between, or if you're out there and someone is highly emotional, chances are it's over a negative situation. So they're highly emotional because they're upset, they're sad, they're angry, but they don't tend to, and people don't tend to get highly emotional over, oh, I'm so happy today, I could just run through the tulips. No, that is not, to get to that heightened level, it doesn't happen as much in public over your very, very positive emotions. So as an empath, you're picking up most of the time these heightened negative emotions. Kunzite will help you emotionally protect without closing off your heart. So sometimes it's hard to remember that love, and that is what Kunzite brings through. Wonderful, wonderful, peaceful love that just allows you to have a more of a hardened emotional shield around yourself, that you can be calm and just remember where the love is coming from. Now, the last crystal on our list is prehnite. Prehnite's very, very similar to kunzite, except it has more of that protection from emotional overload. So it supports you to stay calm and really to be energetically balanced as you're, again, hit by all of those negative feelings. And when you're doing that, you're constantly absorbing the stress, the tension, the emotional energy from other people. And it leaves you, the old saying about, your cup is overflowing. You just can't take any more and you shut down. So what it does is, when you're feeling that overload, your day's been busy, stressful, everything's going on, and you just can't do it anymore. You can't do it. It helps you to remain calm when you're in that position and come back to a really balanced position. And that is really, really important from an empathic perspective. Now, signs you may need stronger energetic protection. Wow, I think we all know these. They're really, really simple. Come to the end of the day, or come to any point in the day, you're emotionally drained. And this happens particularly around certain people. After you've been out and about, and a lot of empaths do avoid too much social interaction, but you've been out and about in a social position, and you get home, and it's around and around and going through your mind, and you don't understand why you're rerunning everything that's gone on. And what you're doing there is you're processing what the other people have projected at you. So it's not necessarily what you're feeling. You're processing everything that they've done. And that just makes you feel exhausted and anxious and just want to go over, pull the covers up and hide for the next week. As well as that, you can be in the actual social environment, and it can be leading up to it or in it, but you're stressed. Your anxiety levels just go through the roof at even thinking about it and doing it. And it's awful. And sometimes, unless you can get your shields up and do everything else, then you can't cope with being in these situations. It just becomes so emotionally exhausting that you go into overload. And then a lot of empaths end up being the sounding block for every single person they've ever met in their lives. And you become the best friend that you're so understanding that they just have to have to talk to you, and you just find it so exhausting. And it gets to the stage where it's difficult to separate your emotions from everything around you. You have an encounter with someone and you've put your energy in there and taken theirs on, and so you went into the situation happy, and now you're coming home to meet up with your partner and you're feeling angry and stressed and everything else, and you end up taking it out on him. So these are the types of things that we don't even realize we're doing. And unless we can, as energy sensitive empaths, unless we can get them under control, we are like a lightning storm with shoots of energy coming off us and coming into us that we just can't control. And one of the really most important things to start with is giving yourself a shield, setting yourself an energetic boundary. And the way you can do this is, I've done this a few different ways over the years. And one of the ones, my shield is, and you will get to that stage where your shield is just up all the time. And you kind of just reinforce it, give it a clean, do everything else as you go along. But if it is consistently put up, then it's something that becomes like a muscle memory for you. It just automatically goes up and you do it. And there might just be, oh boy, I'm about to go and see Joe Blow. They always drain me. So you need to reinforce it. But putting up that shield is so, so important. I've used different coloured ones over the years. I've probably, purple is a wonderful one. I've used gold. Probably I like the just the clean, crisp, and at the same time underneath it's got a calming colour of gold. So what I will usually do is only takes about 5 minutes to do it, and you can just close your eyes, take a few different deep breaths, focusing on your breath. What you're doing here is you're lowering your brain waves so that they're slow down and you can go into a deeper level, and it's going to become much more effective. So focusing on your breath in and out, and then what you can actually do is, I find that you can project out till you're comfortable a gold bubble around yourself. And you reinforce while you're doing this that is a protective bubble, and you can put into that bubble whatever you like. I like to say that it's reflecting back the energy, that I'm not taking on board that energy. And you can also do a simple affirmation over it, or an intention of what you want to do. Got a couple of these on the page that you can use, but you can come up with any one that suits you and your specific situation. Once I've got one, I do like to use it on a regular basis, because what you're doing is you're reinforcing that pattern within yourself. So a really simple one is, I can care without carrying. So if you look at those words, what you're doing is, I can put myself out there. I can listen and I can help or, be there for my friend, but I don't have to carry what they're saying and the emotion that they're projecting at me. This is a good one. Most of us will have at least one shower a day. And have you ever come home after a stressful time and just instinctively gone, I got to jump in the shower? It's not because you're dirty, you're smelly or anything else. It's because somewhere you've noticed that there is that cleansing that you need. And that's what you can do you jump in the shower, and as you're in the shower, just take a couple of deep breaths and allow everything that you're carrying from out there to wash away. Just release it. Let it go. Let it go down the drain and just, it's gone. And it doesn't need to be there. And you don't need to carry it. So, all right. The next one, create a safe space to reset and recharge. Oh my goodness. Everyone should have a safe space. Now, there's two different safe spaces really that you can have. You can have a safe space that you go to when you meditate. And this is something that can be developed over years. And it's something that you can add, you can change. It's your space. And that can be absolutely anything at all. And you just have to go to this safe space in your mind and release everything that you've done. Everything. You can go in there to that safe space and sit on your comfy chair looking out at your beautiful view and light some incense in front of you and just let the cleansing wash over you. You can do anything you want in that safe space. And the second one is, and you can use the two together, the second one is a physical safe space. This is where you set up an area that in some cases it's yours. You don't really let other people come into it, or if they do come into it or use it, what I'm saying is it shouldn't be a high traffic area. It should be a quiet little space where you can do what you need to do. You can grid the room. You can have your incense. You can have whatever you want in that room that makes it your calming, energetic area. And you just go in there to take a few moments to get yourself grounded, rebalanced, and refocused on who you are and releasing all of the negativity around you. Oh, don't you just hate lying in bed and the day is going through and through and through your mind? It is so very overwhelming, frustrating. So there's some detachment ones that you can do before you go to bed. Now, this is one I use quite regularly, and it's just a matter of taking a very short amount of time. You can be holding your crystals. You can do what you want to do with it. But sit in your bed or lie in your bed, making yourself comfortable. And now, while you're there, and I usually go to a safe space when I'm here, and then I will move on to an island or somewhere that's away from my safe space, because I don't want that negativity in my safe space, because it is my safe space. So I've actually got a little island I go to that I then become very, very aware of the emotional ties between myself and anyone. Now, I just don't do who comes to mind. I'm in this area and I look around and I take the time to actually see who I'm connected to. And the energy strands can be different colors. But I see who I'm connected to and I kind of go, ooh, what do I want to do with each of these energies? Because some are very loving and I like to retain them and strengthen them if I can. I'm looking for the ones that are causing me stress and anxiety. And with those, I've used a couple of different things to cut them over the years, but I like a nice selenite sword in my mind that I will just cut it off. And as I release it, I will usually say, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Now, the reason I say I'm sorry is because when you've got this energetic tie with someone else, they feel reliant on you. And so I'm releasing it back to them. And some people don't cope so well with that, because the next time they see you, there can be that little bit, because you have severed that tie. It doesn't mean that you're not still emotionally connected to them. It just means that you are releasing the negative energy to them. You can do this any number of ways that you want to do. This is just what I've done for a very long time. I cut those ties and I say, I'm sorry and I forgive you. Because they don't know they're doing it. And unless you get your boundaries in place on how to actually do this and move forward, then, you're never going to be able to cope. This is about you coping with who you are and everything that's going on around you. And by using these simple steps, there are more steps out there that you can take. These are just my 4 quick, easy, great ones. You can combine some crystals for that extra oomph to it. But these are the ones that I find on a day-to-day basis are going to help you. Now, each one of these, they only have to take 5 minutes. And you do, so that could mean you've got 5 minutes 4 times a day, or one you need to redo. But you do them as many or as little times as you want to do them, so that you are bringing yourself back into emotional balance. You can move forward and really, really start to enjoy being around people again and open yourself up to different things. One of the things you do have to do is any crystals that you do use in these types of practices, these types of energy work, you are going to have to cleanse and clean regularly. So make sure you always do that before you come in. I always find it useful to have some selenite and pop everything on the selenite so that it can move forward. And every time I'm ready for them, I just pick them up and go. Now, don't be scared of being an empath. Don't be scared of being energy sensitive for everything going on around you. Be proud of who you are and just get yourself some better skills. You get yourself some better skills and life gets better. You can not only be there for the people you want to be there for, you can decide the people you don't want to be there for, and you can be happier in yourself. And that's what it's all about, getting your energy in balance and being able to just enjoy life a little bit better. Okay, that's me. And that's everything we've got on crystals for empaths. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to start doing these on a regular basis. So please tune in and I will see you the next time.